At Bachtelhornli on the 26th of March, 1976, Billy took a remarkable series of 35mm stills depicting two distinctively different beamship variations. The purpose of this demonstration was to allow Billy the opportunity to obtain what he calls photo proofs by photographing beamships with known objects such as this tree branch. But the 35mm stills were only a portion of the photographic evidence gathered that day at Bachtelhornli. Billy took several minutes of 8mm movie footage as well. Here, the film has been cut. The tampering took place when Billy allowed an individual in Germany to borrow it for personal examination. Here, the film has been cut. Irregardless, this footage was extraordinary because it offered a rare glimpse of a Variation 3 beamship and two remote-controlled scout ships, all in the same scene.
I personally showed Meier's UFO photos and films to the owners of the company that won the Academy Award for Special Effects. When I asked them I personally showed Meier's UFO photos and films to the owners of the company that won the Academy Award for Special Effects. When I asked them that won the Academy Award for Special Effects. When I asked them if these were models, these photos and films, they said, no, we know models and those aren't models. I asked, can you duplicate Meier's films? And they said, if we could, we'd have to go to CGI. And I reminded them that in 1976 and 78, there was no Photoshop, no CGI, no home computers.
The computer shows under color edge enhancement processing this supportive line above the image here, and you can see a second one above this other object here, and in 5 other photos that we have examined from the sequence, for a total of 6 separate pictures, we have found supportive structures.
one demonstration, a variation 3 ship exhibits a behavior Stevens has seen before.
We have often reported a nipping flight. We also have a wobbling flight, where it wobbles around a vertical axis.
The bobbing effect, Meier explains, is due to the ship riding the waves of the Earth's magnetic field, much as a boat on the ocean.
One of the stills taken at Bachtelhornli would undergo computer enhancement, allowing the opportunity to study the intricate details of this beamship.
In Phoenix, Dilatoso comes up with a startling new discovery.
We're getting into a really interesting area in these pictures. We don't really have to test every picture anymore to see if it's a real picture or not. We can't find anything that tells us it's a hoax. So let's start looking for things that are interesting from picture to picture. Look at the color here. It seems to contour to the shape of the craft.
Have you seen this in a lot of the other photographs?
In the Meier case.
You think it's something that we're not seeing in the photograph with our eyes?
We get some kind of an aura, whether it's infrared, thermal energy, as yet I don't know. I think that craft is putting out a force field.
You see, if she jumps, there is always like a flash coming on. And sometimes I got a small electric shock.
Oh, you got...
Each time when she was jumping.
You got this
why, I don't know.
There is a jump where the object appears to be in 2 places at the same time. Meier and his followers have stated that this is due to the ability of the object to travel so fast that it literally could appear in 2 places on 1 frame of film. The double image was most likely caused by stopping the camera, then changing the object's position, and then turning the camera back on. Experts from Japan's Nippon TV not only looked at and videotaped the film, they looked at the film itself and indeed found The jump is made in only one frame. No cuts, no stops, and no models.
So does this film prove that the object is large and in the distance because it goes behind the hill? No, it doesn't. The film is just simply too poor in quality to be able to determine this.
Using the very same film the skeptic refers to, we can see that the UFO does indeed partially go behind the hill. Since the hill is some distance from the camera, perhaps a quarter mile, it's impossible that the UFO is a small model. And notice that there's a continuous movement to the UFO as it flies back to the starting point in the center of the screen, becoming larger as it does.
Now, in this particular clip, it suddenly makes an appearance down here just above the horizon. Then it begins to move up, which would indicate that it's suspended on some kind of a clothesline rig or some kind of a device that relies on pulling on a rope or a line to get it to travel. And it appears to sort of hover up kind of nice and slowly, a little intermittently. What's interesting, though, is if you run it even backwards faster, you notice that it has sort of an oscillation, almost as if somebody's pulling on a rope.